I want you to imagine your business as a house. Your marketing and your messaging are absolutely integral parts of the house, the walls, and maybe even the concrete in the foundation. However, your financial system is the metal rebar in that foundation, providing the structure for everything.
Are you a maker who loves your craft but hates the money talk? Welcome to the Profit for Product podcast, where we help makers turn financial chaos into clarity, all in 20 minutes or less. I'm Megan Bergquist, a money coach for handmade business owners. Follow me as I cover everything from budgeting basics to scaling your finances. We've got the stories, strategies, and encouragement you need to stay on track. Each episode, we'll break down financial concepts into bite-sized, easy-to-understand tips so that you can implement them easily. Whether you're just starting out or looking to scale your business, tune in to learn how to master your money so you can get back to making. Now let's get started.
Hey, friend, welcome to the Profit for Product podcast, where we talk about becoming profitable even when you're not a numbers person. I'm your host, Megan Bergquist. I'm the founder of Stella and Soul Sustainables, a handmade eco home product brand, and a money coach for fellow handmade businesses. Today, we're going to be talking about building a financial system for your business and why it is the absolutely most important thing that you can do. If you do not have this in place, then even if you have the best marketing in the world, it is going to go out if you do not have this down. Now, I know it sounds like I am being absolutely dramatic, and maybe I am a little bit. I'm kind of dramatic. But even though building a financial system for your business is not necessarily the sexiest thing to do, it will literally pay you dividends for years and years if you do this now. So stop putting it off and make sure you're doing these 5 things. A little bit about why it's important. So when you started your handmade business, pretty much guarantee you that you did not do this in order to sit and look at spreadsheets and try to figure out where the hell your money is going. You started it for the love of your craft and that you wanted to share it with the world and make some money. That's okay. We admit that we want money here. It's okay. But in America, we have this really gross relationship with money. We are both supposed to want it, and we are also supposed to not want it because we don't want to be greedy. And it's this whole mind fuck, and just 0 out of 10 do not recommend. And especially if you've been socialized as a woman, you have this added layer of girls are bad at math and all of this absolute bullshit, honestly. Because the truth is, anyone can be good with money. Anyone. You don't have to be a numbers person in order to find your financial foundation. It's important to create this financial foundation because we want to get paid. I started my business in 2019 and did not take a consistent paycheck until 2023. And even then, it was like $100 a month. Yeah, it was not much considering I had been running it for 4 years straight and not really taking anything out of the business. But I've gone through that, so you don't have to. I want you to not make the same mistakes that I did. So that means we are going to take money from your business and we are going to make sure that you are profitable and able to get that money. I'm an English nerd, so we're going to go with a metaphor. So I want you to imagine your business as a house. Your marketing and your messaging are absolutely integral parts of the house, the walls, and maybe even the concrete in the foundation. However, your financial system is the metal rebar in that foundation, providing the structure for everything. Because if you don't have that structure, it's not going to last and it is going to leave you feeling depleted. And one of the most amazing things about this structure is that it will scale with you. Now, if you're in the business space for any amount of time, I'm sure you've heard of scaling your business, take it to the next level, blah, 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 blah. And things change, but this system at its core will scale with you. It doesn't matter if you're making $500 a month or $25,000 a month. You need to make sure that foundation is solid so things don't break apart as you build. So now that we know the why, now we're going to get to the what. And there are 5 things that you need for your financial foundation. The first thing that you need for your financial foundation is solid pricing. Now, especially in the handmade business, we know that we need to be pricing our products properly. And this means diving into some math. We need to know our materials costs. And friends, we need to know our time. We need to charge for our time because our time is valuable. And something that a lot of people forget to account for in their pricing is their overhead. This means everything that you do need to pay for in your business, but you don't necessarily have to put into every single product. Think the shears that you use to cut your fabric or the little twister things that you use to make the jewelry. You buy it once, but you do need to maybe maintain it, or you need to buy replacement parts, and you need to be able to account for that in your pricing. I know this is something you've probably heard 1.5 million times, but when was the last time that you looked at your pricing? Is it something that you are solid on, especially as we're sailing into Q4 really soon? Do you have it ready? Are you going to be profitable this year? Check it. Let me know if you want a full episode on how to price your handmade goods, and I will get that queued up if you want it. The number 2 thing is a way to keep track of your inventory, whether it's a spreadsheet or a software. You need to be able to effectively track how much money you have tied up in inventory at any given time. I personally use Inventora. I love it. It's super intuitive. It's got great reports, and it's just super easy to use, and it hooks up to my Shopify. So it's super easy. I don't need to do much. The third thing that you want to have for your financial foundation is a way to keep track of your cash that is not your bank account. I beg and plead you, do not use your bank account for this. Because if you have it in just this big, humongous pile, you are going to overspend. Or you could go the other way and you are going to hoard that money because you never know how much money you actually have. Like, yeah, you have, say, $1,500 in the bank. Great. But do we know how much money that we have available for this certain expense versus the other expenses that need to be addressed? If you do, great. I sure don't. I have way too much in my brain to be able to keep track of that. So I like YNAB. It is amazing. I personally friggin' love them. The fourth thing that you need is a way to track your expenses. This serves 2 purposes. One of them is that you need to be able to track your expenses for tax time, but it also allows you to look at what you're spending. And that's really important because if we wait for tax time to know what we're spending, there is nothing we can do about it. It is a passive way of, oh, well, I guess I spent that much, and just kind of wash your hands of it and move on. But the thing is that if you want to ensure a really profitable business, you need to be able to know your numbers. And this sounds scary, but it's really, really simple. How much are you spending? And is that information, is that stuff that you're spending it on necessary to the business? Necessary can mean a couple of different things. Necessary could mean that it is actually legitimately necessary in running your business, like the raw materials or supplies that you need in order to make your craft, or the show fees that you may need to pay in order to go to an in person show. But necessary could also mean that it's things that you buy in order to make things far easier for you. So, for example, I pay for different subscriptions to different softwares because it makes my life easier. And that is a necessary thing in this point in my business, is to make things easy. That said, I also know that these necessary expenses, if I have a downturn in my revenue and I don't have enough buffer to cover it, that could be a place where I go into. The last piece to building your solid financial foundation is one that is so often overlooked, and that is knowing your survival number. I talked about this a little bit last episode, but knowing your survival number already puts you ahead of most handmade businesses. For those of you who don't know or maybe missed last week's episode, basically what a survival number is what is the base number of revenue that you need to create in order to meet your obligations. What are your expenses? What are your contractor expenses? And importantly, what is your owner's comp? We need to include that because we need to get paid for the work in our business. If you want a deeper dive on that, check out my freebie in the show notes about how to de-stress your finances, about how to get a step-by-step walkthrough on how to get your survival number. So to wrap up, to build your solid financial foundation, to set that rebar in the foundation of your house, of your business, you need these 5 things: solid pricing, a way to track your inventory, a way to keep track of your cash, isn't your bank account, a way to track your expenses, and knowing your survival number. If you liked today's episode, I would be so, so grateful if you took a moment to review the podcast. This would help other handmade businesses take charge of their finances to build more profitable businesses. Come join me on Instagram at Profit for Product and say hi. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Bye for now.